Nissan's NV3500 passenger van fills a need no other vehicle has met. It's a comfortable, safe, and affordable option for families who need more space without sacrificing security.
Nissan is the only vehicle in the segment that has standard rollover curtain airbags for every passenger in the vehicle. And I mean, that's a very nice claim to make when we're talking to families.
The Harding family recently bought their NV in Boston. It's a vehicle Amy Harding has been asking for and only recently found on a trip to Florida.
Wrote down the name of the van and then went home and looked it up and showed it to my husband, and he was all excited and said, when we get a new car, that's what we're getting.
Amy has 6 children from 15 years to 11 months old and a puppy, so traditional cars don't cut it. Before she found the NV, Amy drove a 12-passenger van. Her family says Nissan's NV3500 is much more comfortable, adaptable, and high-tech.
Because the seats are especially comfy, especially since they have the headrest. The old car didn't have that, so the seats are shorter and it wasn't as comfortable.
And the navigation system and the hands-free, telephone connection and all those things will be, really useful, as well as all the cup holders and the pockets and all that stuff as well.
Nissan's been building this van in Canton, Mississippi for about 2 years now. For the U.S. passenger van industry as a whole, sales to families are at 23% in the last 12 months. Compare that with Nissan, who sold nearly 89% of their NVs to families in that time. Traditionally, vans of this size are sold to companies instead of individuals, but leaders at Nissan are quickly learning they found a new sweet spot.
We knew that segment was out there. We just didn't know how fast it would attract to the Nissan vehicle.
Amy's husband, Brandon, was recently moved from his post with the U.S. Navy in Boston to Seattle. So Amy is driving her children, dog, and their belongings 50 hours cross-country to their new home. She says their NV will save her sanity.
I think large families have been waiting for a car like this because there really hasn't been a whole lot of options.
The Hardings are always showing off their van to other large families and even to strangers.
3 days ago, we were driving down the freeway and my kids point at this guy passing us in the car next door, and I look over and you can see his mouth. You know exactly what he's saying. He's turning and looking at our van and saying, "Whoa, look at the size of that van." Just like that. There is some envy going on.
The NV has 324 different possible seating combinations. The Hardings configured theirs to make room for their dog Abby's cage and for their suitcases.
Like the baby sits up front and then somebody sits by the baby. The 2 little boys sit in the back.
Nissan now plans to increase production of the NV3500 because of increased demand.
So our dealers have been requesting more passenger vehicles for it, that they're finding that market's out there in all the various states and cities that we compete in.